On this edition of Lambda Digest, we talk to Lena Thompson of the Human Rights Campaign Fund, Ken Warnock of the Detroit Area Gay Lesbian Council about anti-gay violence, and Charlotte Cowtan, organizer of the New Flint Ordinance that protects gays and lesbians.
Welcome to this edition of Lambda Digest. Lambda Digest is a monthly program bringing you news and information about the gay lesbian community. I'm Rob Montre.
And I'm Beth Case. The goal of Lambda Digest is to inform viewers, both gay and straight, about issues of concern to lesbians and gay men. In addition to bringing you news, we will feature segments on local gay lesbian organizations, present in-depth stories on important issues, and keep you up to date with a calendar of events.
At the annual meeting of the Central Conference of American Rabbis in June, Reformed Jews voted to ordain acknowledged gay and lesbian rabbis. Reform Judaism, with 1.5 million members, is the largest Jewish or Christian denomination that officially accepts gay clergy. In contrast to heterosexual unions, the rabbis stopped short of giving equal recognition to homosexual unions. Nevertheless, the move is still seen as a major breakthrough with regards to gays, lesbians, and religion.
On a previous program, we showed you part of an award-winning piece produced for Lambda Digest on the NAMES Project quilt. It won 2 national awards, one from the Gay Lesbian Press Association and the other from the Association of Catholic Hospitals. We'd like to show you that piece in its entirety now.
Richard Anderson, Reggie Hightower, Gary Barnhill, Simon Guzman, Lawrence, Gary Johnson, Neil Yeager, James Martin Case, John T. Seiler, Chris Olds, Harry, R. Kirk Seaton.
It's very sad. A lot of people put a lot of work and a lot of love into making it.
Hoping that the quilt will not grow to be too much larger.
I think it's the perfect way to pay tribute to these people. It just had a lot of feeling for me, and a lot of my friends' quilts are out here.
What I see the quilt do is help people release the grief that they've been suppressing, and it's been such an incredible experience for me.
So much more personal than the names on a granite piece of stone somewhere, and I'm stunned by the size of it, and I'm sure it's going to get larger.
The quilt seems to make AIDS much more a human reality. It gives us an opportunity to feel really related to other people. It's been a wonderful experience to be here, tremendously helpful.
I grew up in the city, and people always have 10 feet of defenses around them, and the quilt strips that all away. Also, to be a part of something that's this big and that is this beautiful and that has given the spirit of my dead friend a home. He has a place to live because of this quilt.
I think it's really important that it's here, that people are seeing it. The thing I also like is, in addition to seeing the panels, is seeing the people that are seeing them and seeing their reactions to it.
I always seem to feel better after being here with all these panels for a length of time.
It's mind-boggling when you see it all, though. All the different people and all the love that has been generated around them.
I think that it's very moving, and I think the reason that I came is just as a symbol of my caring about this issue and the people who are suffering from this disease.
I wanted to remember Father Mark. I did not reconcile myself with him before his death. I wish I'd been able to do that.
I came here because my uncle died, and his square's over there in the quilt, and I didn't have a chance to say goodbye to him, and so this is my chance to do that.
Well, I was told that I carried the AIDS virus about 3 weeks ago, and this is more or less a pilgrimage to me. I'm going to fight it. I'm going to beat it. I feel very sorry for these people. You know, each person I feel definite love for, but I don't want to end up here.
So much beauty and so much pain all at the same time. That's mixed. Maybe that's the purpose of it.
I had just sent him a birthday card. A week later, I found out that he had died, and I came here looking to see if he was here. I guess because I didn't see him before he left.
A lot of persons with AIDS are cremated. They're not actually buried, and so there's no grave to go to. Touching a piece of fabric with something that personally belongs to them helps me to rekindle memories and to be able to communicate and to share a part of myself and to sit on the ground on a piece of fabric and laugh and remember and just go back in time and to just sort of touch them.
And it's when we started working on the quilt and cutting the fabric and that we realized what a healing experience this can be with families. And as we worked on the quilt, we reminisced about Bob and talked about his life and the special times that we'd had with him. And we laughed and we cried. In fact, when we completed the panel, it was very hard to give it up. When you look at that panel, you hope that it conveys to others how much we loved and cared for our nephew, and you hope that others who see that panel recognize what a special person he was and how very much we miss him now.
John Horncliffe, Ty Batty, Charles Hendricks, David Acker,
Paul Walker, Jay Broussard, Kurt McCullough, John Wynn, Jack J. Freezy, Ralph Duncan Fields.
My friend George was an ordinary man with a sweet and rather sober way about him. Not much more than a dimple and an unaffected smile, and you trust him with your life and never doubt him. Such a fine young man, such a good young man, and the kind you'd pin your fondest hopes upon. Such a fine young man, like a flower in the spring. I pinch myself to realize he's gone. My friend Dean was a pisser from the start with a heart as big as any you could pick. He could cut through any bullshit with an impudent remark, and he'd cut the limes and lemons just as quick. Such a fine young man, such a good young man, and the kind you'd pin your fondest hopes upon. Such a fine young man, moved my piano, found my mic. I pinch myself to realize he's gone. My friend Rob liked to talk you half to death, made you feel that he was interested in you. Intelligent and generous, he'd scarcely stop for breath. Maybe 700 others felt it too. Such a fine young man, such a good young man, and the kind you'd pin your fondest hopes upon. Such a fine young man found me work one Thursday night. I pinch myself to realize he's gone. And so, you see, I've known some fellows in my day, and I've had to watch them go by ones and twos. And I won't defer to any other woman, straight or gay, who tries to teach me how to love and lose. Such fine young men, such good young men, so strong, so mild, so sure. I'm not a praying woman, yet I know that if I were, I'd pray that they would finally find a cure.
The summer months often bring a slowdown of congressional activity in our nation's capital. But this summer, Congress acted upon a major piece of legislation. In July, Congress passed the Americans with Disabilities Act. President Bush signed it into law in the presence of 2,000 invited guests, including people with AIDS, PWA. The legislation prohibits discrimination against the 43 million Americans who have some sort of disability